Dear students, it is the second video of the chapter Understanding Secularism from Civics. So far we discussed the concept of secularism, and after that we discussed why it is necessary. Now today we are going to discuss the concept of Indian secularism. Now it is mentioned here, and let me read, after that we will discuss over there. First point is written that one religious community does not dominate other religious community. Second point, that state cannot take or enforce religion on other group or other religious group. It means that state, this government, cannot take the religion of any particular community, or it cannot but enforce particular religion on any community. This is the second concept. Now after that, the third concept is written here, that one religious community must not misbehave with the same religious community. It means within the religious community, one group must not misbehave with the other group within the same religious community. So you have to understand the three different concepts. Now we are going to discuss one by one. So far we discussed the concept of secularism, the meaning of secularism, that it's all about separation of state from the religion, or in other words, the state must not interfere in the religious matter. After that, we are going to discuss this same concept in context of India. When India got independence, lot of trouble was there, and particularly regarding the religious community, and that is why Pakistan was formed on the basis of religious lines. So it was a very difficult time during independence, and that is why our constitutional makers decided that India will not go with any particular religion, or India would not be declared as a religious country. Like Pakistan is Islamic country, Nepal is a Hindu country. But our constitution makers decided that India would not be any religious country, although Hindu were in majority. But as different religious communities participated together in the freedom struggle against the Britishers, it was decided that all the different religious groups will get equal respect, will get equal opportunity, and that is why rights of the minority were given place in the constitution, in the chapter of fundamental right. The minority were granted their rights to upgrade themselves. In the constitution, the provisions has been made to give them chance to flourish their culture, to upgrade their educational institutions. So these things were included in order to make the Indians understand that we are living in a country in which all the religious community are going to get equal respect. So this is how the concept of secularism was introduced in India. Why? Because so much tension was there, so much communal disturbance was there. So that is why the concept of secularism was adopted. However, it was not added in the constitution. It was added later on in the constitution. But the very spirit of secularism was there from the very beginning of the constitution. Now I am going to discuss one by one. The very first point about the Indian secularism is that one religious community does not dominate other religious community. Now it is written very clearly that one religious community which is in majority will not dominate the minority religious community. It means both will get equal weightage, both are going to get equal treatment from the constitution, from the law, and the majority should not feel that they are superior to others. Different communities have their own place in the society, and they are independent in their own sphere, in their own matter. So this type of system was given by the Indian Constitution to protect our multi-religious society. Now after that, the second point is written. The state cannot take any religion from any individual or enforce religion on any particular individual. Here two aspects are there. First is written that the state or government cannot take the religion from any person. It can't tell that this person should not follow this religion. Everyone is free to profess, to propagate, to preach religion of his choice. It is also mentioned in the chapter of fundamental right. So here state or the government cannot force anyone to give up their religion. Similarly, the state cannot enforce the individual to follow any particular religion, because everyone is free in our country to follow religion of its choice. If I am Hindu, I want to become Christian, I can do so. It is my choice. See, here government is not going to force, here government is not going to snatch the religion. That is the second feature of Indian secularism. Now what is the third most important about the Indian secularism? It is very interesting point that one religious community must not behave with the same religious community. Here you'll have to understand this concept a little bit minutely. If we are going to talk about Hindu community, Hindu religious community, we'll have to understand that within the same community, different groups are there. Some are termed as the upper class or upper caste, some are there. So within the same religious community, the different groups are there, different classes are there, different castes are there. And one class may dominate the other caste, or one class may dominate the other class. Like you may have heard, the concept of untouchability was there. So what was there in the untouchability? The upper caste or the upper class of the society within the Hindu religious community was not going to give equal opportunity to the untouchables. They were treated like a human being. So here a type of or concept of misbehavior was there. Although untouchables were the part of Hindus community, they were never given equal rights. They were misbehaved by the upper group of the same religious community. So here third point is very important, that one religious community must not misbehave with the same religious community. So that is the third feature of Indian Constitution. So once again I am going to recap it. The first point is that one religious community must not disturb the other religious community. If Hindu community is in majority, it must not disturb the Christians, it must not disturb the Jains, because they are in minority. And Constitution has given special protection to the minority through special acts or through different articles. Second point, again, the state is very neutral. It is not going to disturb the religious community. It will remain neutral in the religious affair. It will never go with any particular religion. Or if it is going with any particular religion, then in that case it will have to go with all the different religion together. So it was discussed that it is better to stay neutral in the religious matter. That is the second point. And the state also cannot enforce any particular religion on an individual. It cannot ask anyone that you should adopt Hinduism, you should adopt Islam, you should adopt Jainism. No, it cannot do so. People are free to adopt any religion of their choice. The third point is that, as I told you, the religious community must not misbehave to the other group in the same community. It means any religious community is there and different groups are there within the same religious community. One group in that particular religious community should not misbehave with others. As we give the example, as we discussed this concept by giving the concept of untouchability. So this is all about your Indian secularism. Thank you.